Okay, let's continue on with our All Elite Wrestling save. We have an episode of Dark booked, and let's get straight into it. Alright, we got a pre-show match, a few pre-show matches before the main show of Dark. Anna Jay defeated Bea Priestley in 8 minutes for a 27 rated match. Anna 21, Bea 29. Red Velvet got a loss over Priscilla Kelly for 32. Priscilla Kelly, 38 rated performance. These two had pretty good chemistry as well, so that helped out the segment as well. Red Velvet performing at 15. Another matchup here is Alan Angels. I actually thought we had Alan Angels on our roster. I feel like we did. I don't know what happened. Did I get rid of him? I don't know, but we've got him back. He's back. Alan Angels performed at a 32. He debuted with his new cocky gimmick. It was given a rating of great, so obviously we're going to put him into the Dark Order. He took on Jake Hager, who performed at 58. Got us a 50 rated match. So this was still in the pre-show. Just want to get Jake Hager involved, give him another win. And pretty good match, honestly. Jake Hager, 58 performance, not too bad. Another match here, Nyla Rose comfortably defeating Leva Bates for 20. Nyla 39, Leva Bates 26. Not sure why this match was so poorly rated. Maybe another short one. The fans weren't too happy about that. I don't know, but yeah, only 20 rated for that. And last pre-show match was Darby Allin picking up a win over John Silver. Darby performing at 58, which was actually off his game. John Silver 32. Quick win there for Darby Allin. 52 rated match overall. Not bad. Okay, we open up the show. Brian Pillman Jr. and QT Marshall took on the Lucha Brothers in a tag team match. So we had Dustin and Eddie Kingston go at it last episode, so I figured it was a good time to get the other members of this rivalry in the ring together. And it was pretty good. I liked this match. Ray Phoenix, wow, 69. Penta, 64. We really got to get the Lucha Brothers in the tag team title picture, I think. I think this might be a good idea. You know, after this storyline to kind of get them in the mix, maybe a feud against the Young Bucks again, or I'm not sure, but they've got to be up there. They're so good. Pillman Jr., 35, actually outperformed QT Marshall, so that's a bit of a concern for QT, but that's good news for Brian Pillman. But of course, we did give the Lucha Brothers the win. 58 rated, great match. Team Taz, well, Team FTW is what we've been calling them. Brian Cage, Starks, and Taz all in the ring together, giving one final warning to Hardy and Hobbs to get away, to step aside, move out of the way, because obviously Cage and Hardy have been trying to fight over the rankings positioning. Cage is giving Hardy one final warning after recently beating him down. This is your last chance. You know, if you want to keep getting into our business, keep, messing with us, we will hurt you. And that's basically what they were trying to say in that promo there for 51. Brandy Rhodes had a promo, so we are starting to use Brandy a little bit more. She addressed her future as an in-ring performer. She also mentioned Britt Baker in this promo, basically kind of hinting maybe one day I might look to try and become AEW Women's Champion. 42 rated for the promo. Not too bad from Brandy, not too bad. SCU defeated the Acclaimed for 43, so this was the combination of Sky and Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian 46, Sky 44, Caster 27, Bowens 28. So, this tag team pairing doesn't have the chemistry combination that we've been looking for, but they did pick up the win anyway. So we wanted to kind of see where all three different combinations are at to see which one's probably the best fit for the tag team title match, which is what their next promo was all about. SCU discussing what is their best combination ahead of their tag team title match against the Inner Circle. 53 rated promo. So with this storyline, we really are just focusing on SCU for the time being. We want to try and boost them up and get them, a little bit more popularity. So we're giving them more promo time, more matches, making it more about them rather than the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle are doing fine, and it's okay for them just to kind of lay low for a little bit. So we're trying to hype up some of the contenders, and SCU is obviously the focus here. So we want to try and get them something happening, some more popularity, some bit of a boost. So that's why we gave Daniels the win over Guevara and a little bit more promo time here as well. Ivelisse cut a 40 rated promo. That's pretty good. She was talking about how Sheeta will pay the price for getting in the way of her attempted attack on Statlander on Dynamite. So Ivelisse, she tried to attack Statlander. Instead, Sheeta helped out and was kind of, getting herself involved in Ivelisse's business, and she's not too thrilled about that. So she said, look, Sheeta, if you want to get yourself involved, be my guest, but, that means I'm going to be coming after you. So that's another way to kind of kick up this feud a little bit and kind of get it started. And our main event was Lance Archer defeating Chuck Taylor for a 55 rated match. Lance Archer won via stoppage, a referee stoppage. So we went for Lance Archer just beating down Chuck Taylor so badly, the referee just had to stop the match. That's kind of what we were going for. Has a real strong way to kind of send a message to Orange Cassidy that, hey, Lance Archer is the real deal. You don't want to mess with him. These two actually had pretty good chemistry in the end, Archer and Taylor. So that helped out this match. Lance performed at 57, Taylor 44. So both guys did a pretty decent job, I've got to say. One last segment to close out the show as well, and that was, of course, Lance Archer taking care of the rest of best friends. Cassidy, Trent tried to save the day and stop the beatdown that was happening on Chuck Taylor. They did manage to stop the beatdown on Taylor, but in the end, Cassidy and Trent, they got put on their backside from Lance Archer as he cleared out the ring. 53 rated for that one, advancing that storyline. So a couple of good segments there to kind of boost up this Cassidy and Archer feud to really get this one underway. I'm actually enjoying it so far. 51 rated was the overall result from Dark, which is one of our better episodes of Dark, to be honest. Alright, this should be an interesting episode of Dynamite. We have some of our big names all in a match, so I'm hopeful this will be a good one. Pretty promo-centric though, this episode, so we'll see how it goes. Let's kick it off with the pre-show. We had Serena Deeb defeat Shanna in the pre-show for 33, Serena 35, Shanna 27. We open up the main show though with the Elite, Cody, Nick, Matt, and Kenny all out in the ring discussing what happened last week. What went wrong? Why did Kenny snap again? Why did he attack Adam Page? Well, that's what Cody, Nick, and Matt were all trying to find out, but Kenny refused to talk and just ended up laughing it off, laughed at the Elite, and walked away. So he left the other three in the ring, all by themselves, trying to scratch their heads and figure out what is going on with Kenny Omega. Adam Page is out, injured, after obviously getting the beat down, so he won't be here on this show. 75 rated, another way to continue advancing the storyline. I like this segment, good stuff. Okay, so Proud and Powerful took on SCU. The combination I feel like is the best one, which is, of course, Daniels and Kazarian. We had SCU pick up the win, so Proud and Powerful do have a little bit more pop, but they've gained so much over the last couple of months that I figured once again, it's probably okay if they take a loss here. This time though, we didn't go with the flash pinfall, we gave SCU a legitimate win to see if it does impact the popularity at all. Ortiz 61, Santana 57. These guys are getting really good. I feel like the Lucha Bros versus Proud and Powerful would be a really nice rivalry, even though it's heel versus heel, but I just feel like there's something really good there between two teams right on the cusp of breaking out. Kazarian 47, Daniels 53, so still putting together some pretty good performances, to be honest. And Kazarian was off his game. 15-minute match, 61 rated overall for the match. Pretty happy with that. Okay, Miro was hyping up actually teaming up with Cody Rhodes tonight. So this one did drag the storyline hit down a little bit. 64 rated. Miro's promos are okay. Doesn't quite get the results we're really looking for. But yes, that's right. So Miro will be teaming up with Cody here tonight. So we said last episode that we wanted to kind of bring this feud into the ring. It's been very promo heavy. So this time we're going to bring it into the ring. And instead of them being against each other, they're actually going to have to team up. So this should be interesting to see how that plays out. Brian Cage beat down Marco Stunt so badly that the referee had to stop the match, similar to the Lance Archer situation. But yes, Cage 65, Marco Stunt 32. Lost some storyline heat for Hardy and Brian Cage, so we did have Matt Hardy ringside for this one. I thought maybe because Marco Stunt's popularity is pretty decent that we might be able to get a little bit more out of this. Brian Cage was great, but Stunt didn't really hold up his end, so 46 for that. Alright, so Miro and Cody Rhodes teamed up to take on the Hybrid 2 for 69. Cody, 78. Miro, 66. Evans, 46. And Helico, 50. Hybrid 2 is kind of one of my go-to heel tag teams to take a loss at the moment and against a top tag team. So that's okay for them, but obviously they're not really getting a push. Miro and Cody beat them in 14 minutes. Cody was the best in the match. 69 rated overall for the match. Not too bad. It's kind of around where this storyline is. That's 69, low 70s is kind of the storyline here at the moment, so it just kind of keeps it steady. So not too bad. Post-match, though, we had Angelico and Evans trying to attack Cody and Miro, but Miro and Cody teamed up to take them out. 59 for this one. So yeah, we just aren't really getting the results that perhaps we're looking for with Cody and Miro. At times we get a good segment, and other times not so much. So here they are once again, putting any differences they had aside, because it's face versus face, so they have to kind of respect each other, be on decent terms with one another without, crossing that line. So they had to put that aside to beat them in the match, and then also fend them off for a potential ambush after the match. 59 for that one. We had the Dark Order backstage, kind of welcoming Alan Angels back into the group. So, like I said, I don't know what happened to Alan Angels. I thought he was under contract. Apparently he wasn't, so be it. Anyways, we welcomed him back into the group. So, Dark Order style, big party, celebrating Alan Angels back in the group. 44 rated. We've done really nothing with the Dark Order and Brody Lee over the last little bit, so I figured it's good to get them a segment at least. Because Brody Lee, as you guys know, I've been pretty disappointed with him. Ray Phoenix and QT Marshall had a 60 rated match. Wow, okay. Phoenix with a big carry, 66, Marshall 34, and that will advance the Nightmare Family versus the Family storyline. So that's good. That's a good match. Better than the, of course, Dustin and Kingston match. We did steal the show just because we had to do it on this card. And I feel like it may help this match. Ray Phoenix probably benefited greatly from it. Ray Phoenix is awesome. Simple as that. He really should be, if not TNT champion, in the mix. He definitely could have a one-on-one match for the AEW World title and not be out of place. That's how good he's going. 60 rated for this one. All right, we had another segment backstage. We had FTR actually with Kenny Omega. So FTR was backstage and informed Kenny Omega that, hey, if you need some backup, you need some support against the Elite, if these guys are going to go against you, we've got your back. So FTR and Kenny Omega could team up to take on the Elite at some point. That would be interesting. But anyways, yeah, so they're offering their support because obviously they've had their issues with the Young Bucks, and we know Omega and Page have got their issues. So they're right there if they want to, if Kenny needs a helping hand. 67 for this angle, a little bit low for what we were probably hoping for. It probably drags down the Omega and Page feud down a little bit too much for us. And we even had FTR and Young Bucks at 75, so it didn't probably really help out too much there. But, for storyline wise, I think this is a good little avenue to take. FTR kind of getting involved and kind of interrupting the Elite and kind of making things even more difficult for them. MJF was with Wardlow backstage with his legal representatives attempting to try and remove him from the cage match against Moxley. So MJF is furious that this match has been made. He can't believe it. He believes that there's got to be some sort of loophole to get him out. He's the champion. He shouldn't have to be in a cage. He's trying desperately to get himself out of this. And he's working around the clock with all his officials. And he's even, mentioning some of the AEW officials. So obviously Tony Khan's not a direct television authority figure. Everyone knows he's the authority figure, but he's not an on-screen figure. So we're not really going to go with that. Instead, we're going to kind of use maybe like Billy and Jerry Lynn, some of the coaches backstage, as potential guys that MJF is trying to convince to get him out of this match. But nonetheless, great promo, 83. Chris Jericho had a match against Colt Cabana, 72 was the match rating. Jericho is performing much better, 84, so kind of keeping his matches a little shorter, I feel like has been the key to his success. Colt Cabana, 45 was okay. Good match. Simply put, just wanted to get Inner Circle on this show with Chris Jericho with a match. He hasn't had a match for a little bit, certainly not a singles. So good excuse to get him out there, get him a win, and help boost up the Inner Circle and SCU storyline. Britt Baker was with Chris Statlander. Great little promo here, back and forth. Britt Baker was mocking Chris Statlander for claiming to be an alien. So obviously Britt Baker is an intellect. She believes that she's better than everybody else. So she's just laughing at the fact that Chris Statlander would even think that anyone would even ascertain the thought that Chris Statlander could be an alien. So she was just mocking Statlander. Statlander not happy about it at all. But Britt Baker gets a bit of a one-up here over Statlander. 50 rated though, just a good segment. That's good stuff for the women. That's why we've got Britt as the champ. We know she does good things. Alright, our main event was Darby Allin versus MJF. It was a 66 rated match. MJF 71, Darby Allin 59. So of course Darby Allin's been in the mix a little bit with this feud. We didn't have this associated with the storyline just in case it was not good enough to help it out, which I feel like it was always going to be around 60s, low 70s at absolute best. So I didn't want to ruin the storyline here between Mox and MJF, so we didn't include it. So instead, just a straight up match between MJF and Darby. 66 is pretty good, you know. And also, look, Darby Allin, we've been saying for weeks that we want to try and get him in the mix. Well, no better way than to put him in the main event against the champion. I thought about putting the title on the line as well, but I just figured it wouldn't really make sense storyline wise. Last segment though was MJF having to run for his life as Jon Moxley stormed the ring and he was coming for MJF. Instead, Wardlow got in the way and he fought MJF. He fought Moxley for MJF rather, so he was protecting MJF. Darby Allin helped out Moxley as well, so we had a 72 for this segment. So not too bad in the end. Probably nothing too interesting happening as was the penalty there. So MJF kind of getting away and Wardlow just getting beaten down there. So, okay, not too bad, 72, which gives us an overall 68 rated episode of Dynamite. So, a couple of good promos there, a good Jericho Colt Cabana match. Main event was pretty decent as well. Alright, our TV rating, we had a 755,000 viewer show. So we had a small increase compared to last week, another 10-15,000 viewers. So, hey, it's gradual, it's small, but steady, you know, like that's okay. You know, we had another good show. We slowly start to increase our viewership, which is fantastic. We just got to keep going with it. New Japan had a 71 rated for their show. Ring of Honor had a 66 rated for their show. So some good wrestling at the moment, some decent competition for us that we have to keep an eye on. Tay Conti has got divorced. Griff Garrison's contract is up. I like Griff as a job guy for us, so I'll probably hang on to him, and I'll keep it on an ongoing basis. So he continues to be under contract until we decide enough is enough. I think that works for me. Kenny Omega's pretty high on Sammy Guevara, same with Brody Lee. So we had Pac, he's returned from his little vacation, and Bray Wyatt, I found this interesting, actually has been loaned out to NXT. So he hasn't had a match there, but look out for that. Bray Wyatt probably will get a main event match, maybe against Finn Balor or something at some point, and they'll pull a huge rating from that. I've got no doubt. So Zelina Vega, she's also gone from the WWE, so another one to really keep an eye on there. We might have to think about bringing her in soon. We kind of touched on that last time. Alright, so we are looking to book the final episode of Dark for October. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. So it's the pre-show stuff here. We got Darby Allin cutting a promo on MJF, addressing his recent loss to MJF. Once again, I'm looking for the pre-show to try and do some more promos. We've done a lot of matches on the pre-show recently, so I feel like, you know, we could do some more promos and get guys just getting their mic skills improving and potentially gaining some popularity. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if it's really effective or not, but at least getting them doing something. And this is an easy promo for Darby Allin. 59 rated, so that's pretty good. We had a hype video showcasing Avalon for 24. She's someone we haven't really used too much recently, so I wanted to get something out there for her. And then we had Silver and Reynolds. They cut a promo hyping themselves up for 33. And then we had a hype video for Wardlow hyping up himself. And Wardlow's getting a lot of pop, so it's not too far away from Wardlow looking to make a singles run. You know, still with MJF as an associate, but, you know, doing some more single stuff and having more matches on his own. Or if not, maybe even teaming up with MJF. Not sure. Alright. The opening segment was Cody Rhodes. Yep, so Cody, we decided to go for it and give him a longer promo here because, you know, the storyline heat for Miro and Cody's been a little bit low. Cody's the better promo cutter, so I feel like he could really rise this storyline up. And we also had him address the situation with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and FTR as well. So it's a bit of a 3-in-1 in this one, because obviously Cody being in the Elite, he's kind of been a little bit involved in all those storylines as of late. So we had him weighing in on all these different issues there. 78 rated segment, boosting the storyline in his storyline with Miro and the Young Bucks FTR, and advancing the Omega and Page storyline. So pretty positive all around there. So I think that's really good to see. So Cody back doing what he does best, and that's good promos. Matt Sydal had a match with Jack Evans for 47. Okay, not bad. Matt Sydal 45, Jack Evans 40. We gave Matt Sydal the win. Little surprised that this match actually hit a 47. We just had it as a regular match, nothing special, but I'm pleasantly surprised. I think it's really positive. Matt Sydal performing at 45 in about a 12-minute match. That's a good sign. That's not too bad. That's 5 above his popularity. I think we can work with that. I think he might be quite useful in the mid-card going forward. We had another tag match. We had Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, Jurassic Express, teaming up to take on the Butcher and the Blade for a 51. We had Private Party ringside. So the Bunny, she tried to interrupt and try to help Butcher and Blade win. Well, we had Private Party come out and stop her from doing so and help Jurassic Express pick up the win. So that's another way to kind of advance the Butcher and Blade Private Party storyline without having the two teams interact directly. And a 51 rated match, that's good stuff. That's really promising. Luchasaurus 52, Jungle Boy 55. No doubt, Jurassic Express, I have criminally underutilized them. You know, we're trying to push Private Party when in reality, probably got a much better option right in front of us with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. So 51, really good stuff. Hikaru Shida is backstage with Dasha, and Shida cuts a promo on Evil East, basically saying that she's ready to compete again and prove that she still is the best in AEW, despite the fact she's no longer the champion. She took on Priscilla Kelly for a 47 rated match. Whew, that is good. These two have good chemistry, obviously. So this advances and gains storyline heat for Shida and Evil East. Shida 50, Priscilla 40. No doubt about it. Priscilla Kelly, we hired her. We didn't have much hopes for her at all, but she's really proving to be a bit of a diamond in the rough. You know, we strapped her with with Bea Priestley rather. Bea Priestley kind of sucks, not gonna lie. She's really poor at the moment. Priscilla initially was meant to be just a supporting role, but she's turning out to be the better out of the two, and she's probably getting more of the push. Now, albeit she's losing these matches, but we are going to be featuring her more and more and more. She's doing really, really well. A 40 rated performance against Shida, that's top notch. That's probably one of the best going around in our division. Shida was excellent 50. And we mentioned, you know, the reason why we wanted Shida to drop the title is so Britt Baker can, you know, do more of a promo-centric feuds going forward, and Shida can kind of work with the entire roster without being strangled into the championship, and she can just have these matches with a bit of freedom and try and have good matches with them to boost them up, and this is exactly what she could do. 47 rated match, that's brilliant. Post-match, we had Evil East helping Bad Reputation, so Bea Priestley, Priscilla beating down Shida. Chris Statlander came out for the save, but it was a 3-on-2, the numbers game. She just couldn't quite do it, so she tried to return the favor after Shida saved her from a recent beatdown from Evil East. Unfortunately couldn't do it, so 3-on-2 attack there for 36 rated. So we did lose a bit of storyline heat there after such a good match in the previous segment. Main event was Will Hobbs taking on Brian Cage for a 57 rated match. That is awesome. Brian Cage 60, Will Hobbs 39. Both guys really, really good. I think we had it a wild brawl. Yes, we did. Advancing the Will Hobbs Ricky Starks storyline, which must have a bit of storyline heat, so that's going pretty well. Helping boost up Hardy and Cage as well. We had Starks and Hardy both ringside for this one. 57 rated as Brian Cage obviously got the win. Taz interfered to help Cage win as well, just to kind of protect Will Hobbs a little bit and gain a bit of heat on Bryan. 51 rated episode of Dark, so we are starting to get Dark a little bit better. Obviously, Cody featuring on the show, that's always going to help with a great promo. Okay, we got another episode of Dynamite booked. Let's check out the pre-show, final show for October. Top Flight took on the Lucha Brothers in the pre-show for a 56 rated, Penta 63, Ray Phoenix 68, Darius 30, and Dante 27. Pretty good stuff all around, and we did advance the Nightmare Family storyline there just by having a win there for the Lucha Brothers, just kind of advancing them and continuing their momentum, making them look strong heading into Full Gear. Good match though, 56. Good way to get Top Flight in the mix there. Britt Baker debuted her new segment called The Waiting Room. It's her new show. Nyla Rose was the first guest with Vicky Guerrero, and basically all it was those two women just trash talking Chris Statlander and talking about how much she sucks, basically, how much they hate Chris Statlander. 48 though for that one, so that was on the pre-show as well. But trying something a little bit different. Britt Baker maybe getting her own little talk show, which I think they've been doing it in real life. I kind of stole that idea, so I thought, let's try that. And I think this could be something that will help develop the women's division a little bit more, certainly on promos, and get their mic skills improving by having more, things like this. You could have multiple women on the show, for example, and help out. 48 though, it's pretty good. TNT took on Proud and Powerful. Ortiz suffered chronic upper back pain. Let's hope that's not an injury that's going to be keeping him out for a while. The Dudleys 17 each, Santana 57, Ortiz 51. Of course, Proud and Powerful picked up the win. So, chronic upper back pain, that should be okay. It's just back pain, but it may impact him for a decent period of time, maybe a few weeks. So, it was Terrell Dudley who has some heat backstage because he injured Ortiz with a botched move. So, this is the problem you've got with bringing in new, unexperienced guys into the mix. They will potentially make a bit of a mistake. And you don't want them injuring your top guys, and Santana and Ortiz are on a roll, so let's hope it's not too serious. Opening contest, Cash Wheeler versus Matt Jackson for a 77 rated. I went back and forth on this one, whether to make this the main event or not. I went in a different direction in the end, but I think I might be living to regret that. Great match between these two. So we did Nick and Dax. I figured it was only right that we did Cash and Matt. So Cash Wheeler picked up the win over Matt Jackson in this one to give FTR that little bit of a leg up again, because Nick won last time. Matt Jackson 74, Cash 62, really good, advancing the storyline. So obviously the storyline heat's pretty great at the moment, so that really lifted this match up. Tully Blanchard interfered to help Cash Wheeler pick up the win. Good stuff. Chris Jericho had a promo with Sammy Guevara talking about SCU, basically saying, look, no matter what combination SCU chooses to fight the Inner Circle with, it doesn't matter. The Inner Circle will win no matter who it is. So they're pretty, feeling pretty confident heading into their Full Gear match. 85 rated. Inner Circle always delivers on the mic. Figured, let's get another one happening here to try and boost up the storyline, especially because we will be having Chris Jericho and Frankie Kazarian in our main event. This is a bit of a risk, but Jericho's been on a bit of a roll as of late, so I figured, why not? Let's do it. Anyways, before we get there, we got Matt Hardy. He took on Stu Grayson for a 12-minute match. Matt Hardy picked up the win. 56 rated in the end. Matt Hardy 60, Stu 43. Now, with this one, we actually tried something a little bit different. We don't normally do this, but we went with a Mayhem-style match, which is kind of like a gimmicky, overbooked sort of match. A little bit over the top, a bit crazy, but something that I normally don't do. Usually I'll go with a Wild Brawl because we have to have either a car crash, a Mayhem, or a Wild Brawl every single show. That's just the product settings that we have. So because of that, we had to pick one, and I normally don't do Mayhem, but this time I went for it. I figured Matt Hardy could pull it off, and I think he did. 56 rated is much better than I expected. Post-match, we had Brian Cage and Ricky Starks coming out to try and attack Matt Hardy. Well, Matt Hardy was able to disappear when Team FTW tried to attack. So they went for the ambush, but Matt Hardy disappeared. The lights went out, or he teleported, whatever you want to say. But it was a 65 rated segment, which is actually pretty good considering how Matt Hardy's been performing. So maybe we should have him teleport or disappear a little bit more often. Sorry, Jim Cornette. But that is something that maybe we should do some more things like this. Because it gained storyline hit for both the Hobbs and Stark storyline, and of course Hardy and Cage. We were going to have Will Hobbs get himself involved and help out Matt, but he wasn't needed. Matt Hardy found a way to disappear himself. Alright, so we had a contract signing between Miro and Cody Rhodes. We had some AEW officials out there as well as Brandy Rhodes to support Cody. Thank goodness, finally, a good segment between these two back and forth on the mic. We did one a few weeks ago, but it's been a while. The last few have been a little bit poor, but a contract signing between these two went down really well. 81 rated, so I'm very, very relieved about that because, as I said, it's been a tough few weeks with this storyline. We've even had to kind of incorporate the Adam Page and Omega storyline in this a little bit to try and help it out. But yeah, this week much, much better. 81 rated, and Miro and Cody, we might probably try and leave it at that. We won't really touch it any further unless we have to because I think it's ready to go for Full Gear. Lance Archer, he's only got one more man to beat before he gets to Orange Cassidy, and that was Trent. Lance Archer beat up Trent so badly the referee had to stop the match. 14 minutes, Lance Archer was going back and forth with Trent for a while there, but Trent ultimately succumbed to Lance Archer. 60 rated match. So Lance is really starting to deliver. These are the types of matches that are really helping Lance out. Trent 48. Was it a wild brawl? No, it was just a regular. So the finish there is kind of playing quite well into our storyline. Obviously being, now Lance is, beaten up Chuck Taylor so bad the referee had to stop it. He beat up Trent so bad the referee had to stop it. So Orange Cassidy could be next. One more segment for these two as well. Jake Roberts basically saying, look, both of your best friends have been seriously hurt. Lance Archer is seriously hurt, these two guys. There's one last chance. That's it. You have one more chance to back away from this fight at Full Gear. You got one more week until Full Gear. Take it, because it's not going to end well for you. So one more opportunity for Cassie to back away. 57 for that promo. So I really like where their storyline's headed at the moment. Both guys have been involved and doing quite well out of it. I think this will definitely help Lance Archer. I'm sure these matches are much better than what he's been doing. The promos are much more successful than what he's been doing. So this is much better for Lance. So I'm really happy that we're finally getting something for Lance to do, because I really like the pairing of Jake Roberts and Lance Archer. I just haven't had anything for them. So now it's good that we actually do, and it's working. Adam Page is at his home, and he was on video discussing what happened between himself and Kenny Omega, and of course the future of the Elite. So Adam Page still injured, and we'll probably have him sell his injuries up until Full Gear. We might even have him come into Full Gear not 100% as part of the storyline. So he's kind of addressing Kenny Omega, and obviously the Elite have got themselves involved recently as well. So we've got him addressing the future of the Elite as well. 79 rated promo there from Adam Page, which is fantastic. Surely that will help his popularity boost up again. We had Kenny Omega. He took on Peter Avalon for a 65 rated match. I wanted Kenny Omega just to get a quick dominating victory. We chose Peter Avalon because he's got about 30 pop, which is a little bit higher than a lot of the other options that we've got. I thought Kenny Omega would get a nice match out of him. And look, 81 from Kenny is great. 65 match, it's probably about right. That's probably better than what I should have expected. So, Peter Avalon, good opportunity for him to get out there and see what he can do. He performed at 32. It's not bad. So, Kenny Omega picked up a nice win there, and hopefully that will help him out. It wouldn't affect the storyline either, so that's okay. Ivelisse, Big Swole, one-on-one. These two, just not enough popularity to have the fans really get invested into it, unfortunately. And they also have no chemistry. So that's also another downer. 28 rated for this match. Ivelisse, 37. Big Swole, 27. Okay, there you go. MJF was involved in a segment. Of course, last week, MJF was trying to get out of this cage match. He does not want to be a part of this cage match with Jon Moxley. So much so that he is trying to take it to court. He's trying to get his lawyer involved, but I guess it's kind of turning into more of a wrestler's court. because he's got some AEW officials. We've got Billy, Jerry Lynn, and Dean Malenko kind of representing AEW in this one, as MJF and his lawyers are trying to present his case to these officials to try and get him out of the match. And we'll find out the result of MJF's appeal next week. So, yeah, MJF trying to be the cowardly heel, doesn't want to have to be in a cage. 78 rated for this one is really good. You know, I've been going back and forth on it the last few days of what I want to do with MJF and Moxley, and I'm thinking that I might go and give the belt back to Moxley. I think that's kind of where I'm headed at the moment. Not that MJF's done a bad job, it's been a good way to kind of elevate him, but I just feel like there's no one else for MJF to really feud with going forward. So it probably would be more of a hindrance for MJF because, you know, it'd be a struggle to keep him in the main event with, you know, versing, I don't know, someone who's got 50 pop, for example, for the championship. It will kind of bring the championship value down, whereas Moxley would have opponents lined up for him. Something to think about anyways, but that's kind of where we're headed at the early stages. Still got a couple of weeks until Full Gear, so we've got some time to think about it. Main event, Frankie Kazarian versus Chris Jericho. 15-minute match. Chris Jericho picked up the win. So Jericho 85, Kazarian 47, 73 rated match. Like I said earlier on, I thought about putting, you know, Matt and Cash in the main event, but I thought their popularity would be a bit of a problem. They delivered a great match, and I think Jericho, he'll get a good match out of Kazarian, I'm sure of it. So I think felt like that was a safer bet. And 73 is still very good. I'm still very happy with that. Obviously, we could have been a little bit better, but yeah, great match between these two, advancing the Inner Circle SCU storyline. And good opportunity for Kazarian to get in the main event against Jericho. Hopefully, he might even boost up his popularity a little bit with some exposure like that. Overall, hey, 73 rated show. That is really good. So we are gaining a bit of momentum heading into Full Gear. We had that great opening contest. We had probably 3 really good promos. You know, the Inner Circle one, the contract signing, the Page and Omega. Actually make that 4, an MJF's promo. So 4 really good angles and a couple of good matches in there. Kenny's match was pretty good. Archer and Trent was good. Even Hardy and Stu was pretty good. So that's one of our better shows I think we've done top to bottom. Really good. Really happy with that. All right, let's take a look at the Fallout NXT 69 rated show. Io Shirai, Candice LeRae in the main event there, 76. So we managed to beat them. They had 1.489 million viewers. That's okay. For us, hey, 786,000. So a huge jump again compared to last week. I think that's 40,000 viewers or so that we've increased by, which is awesome. Fantastic. Really happy about that. And look, that's what it takes. Get some good shows back to back. Just keep doing what we're doing, and eventually we'll continue to get better and better, and our ratings will improve. So, very, very pleased with how we went with that show. Okay, it is the start of a brand new month. It is the month of November, and we've got a few big things to look at before we get there. First up, Rey Mysterio's contract is expiring. He's got about 69 pop. Obviously, it's Rey Mysterio, absolute legend. WWE want to keep him, so they are looking at signing him for $95,500 a month. Whew, not sure if we've got that type of coin. We would be offering, like the game recommends, $50,000 a month. So we'd have to pay twice the amount to bring him over. That is insane money. That is big, big money. I don't think we can match that, so I will offer him $75,000, 50% of the merch. Tony Khan doesn't even want to do that much, so we have no chance of signing my man Rey Mysterio. He does not want to do house shows. Well, that's fine. You can just do the main shows. But what we'll do is we'll splash a little splash a bit of cash around just to try and make WWE work for it. Keep things interesting. The other one is Jeff Hardy. So Jeff Hardy, 70 popularity. Now here's the interesting thing. The WWE do not want him. The WWE have rejected Jeff Hardy. They don't want him. So that means Jeff Hardy is available right now to sign with us. No competition at this stage. If we offer him a contract, that could be different. But he is not wanted at all by the WWE. We could have Jeff Hardy. We could have the Hardy Boys in AEW. Jeff Hardy could be one of our top main event single stars. He could be the man. Now, here's the thing about Jeff Hardy. I actually think he will go to AEW once his contract expires. I would be surprised if he stays in WWE, because Jeff Hardy, both the Hardy Boys have always been guys that are willing to go somewhere else, do something different, make a change. He went to TNA for years. He's not exactly loyal. So I could see it happening. And obviously it would give Matt Hardy new life, because he's been a bit iffy with us. He's been a little bit average. Jeff Hardy's averaging 76. His last tag match he performed at only 55. Okay, that's interesting. Let's look at a singles match. He performed at 69 against Shelton Benjamin. Jeff against Bo Dallas was a 74. Okay. What about this other tag match? Jeff teamed up with Rey Mysterio. Here's both guys. Jeff 70, Mysterio 73. So interesting stuff. So he's still performing pretty well. Jeff against Sami Zayn, another 70. So he's performing around his popularity, which is about 70. So, okay, not bad. The other guy is R-Truth. Now he's 48, very old. He's got 49 pop, and WWE have also not offered him a new contract. So he's another guy that you could realistically bring in as well. I personally don't see any value in doing it. Look, I like R-Truth, but unless he was coming in as more of like a trainer, an agent, or maybe even a manager, like a comedic manager, or I was trying to think about what I could do with Colt Cabana, and I feel like R-Truth and Cabana as a tag team would be fun. That could work out okay, but yeah, I think at this stage I'll probably give it a miss. The other thing as well, Awesome Kong, she's now back and available for us to use. So she's got 40 pop. She has the most pop out of anyone in our division. So it'll be interesting to see how she fits in and what type of performances she brings us. And Jey Uso, he's also got his contract expiring. And the WWE haven't offered him a deal either. So he could be on his way out, which is very interesting to think about, considering the push he's been getting lately from the WWE in real life. But yeah, some big names potentially gone from the WWE. I have to put it with you guys. Comment section down below. Jeff Hardy, do we sign him? Yes or no? Because to me, I just want to focus on the talent we've got. But geez, Jeff in AEW teaming up with Matt would be a lot of fun. That would be fun. So that'd be really good for us, I think. Speaking of WWE, they had their Crown Jewel pay-per-view, and it still sucks. Even though it's in TW, it still sucks. So 71 rated for Crown Jewel. I just feel like no matter what, Crown Jewel will always be lousy. Braun Strowman beat Roman Reigns in that show as well. So McIntyre beat Wyatt and Styles in the main event. I suppose they are in India, so they don't have as much popularity as perhaps it should be in Saudi Arabia, but obviously it's not in the game, so India is the closest thing that the game can offer. Alright, so new month, which obviously means finance. How did we fare this month? $834,000 in the red. Not our worst month, our second worst. So not ideal, obviously. Merchandise increase, which is good. Sponsorship money increased quite a bit. Broadcast revenue was up from last month, but it's not been our best. Ticket sales are the same. No pay-per-view revenue again, so obviously that's going to hurt us big time. Wouldn't have really mattered. We still would be very much in the red, but our worker costs slightly lower than last time, which we've made a few changes. We've changed a few contracts around, so that might be a little bit better for this month. But mostly everything else is the same. Our media costs, I did sign a bad broadcasting deal. I've done a bad deal, so it's going to cost me $100,000 a month for that deal. I really regret it, but it would cost me $400,000 to cancel it. So we're kind of just going to stick it out. But yeah, I did a bad contract there, which is why that media expense is there. So yeah, still heavily in the red, not ideal at all. But yeah, so hopefully we can turn things around soon when we get some more fans in. We're still at 67 for the Southeast, and we are 2 weeks away from our next pay-per-view, which will be Full Gear. Fingers crossed that'll be a good one. I think we might upgrade the audience where we can hold 1,000 people for that pay-per-view. So we might increase our pay-per-view or special show venues, so we can get a few more people in there for those bigger shows. I think that's only fair. So with that being said, plenty to look at next episode. Will Jeff Hardy join AEW? I'll have to think about it. I don't think we're going to get Rey Mysterio, but Awesome Kong is back as well. So some big things happening 2 weeks away from Full Gear. Thanks for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.